Now some further legal aspects of self-defense. Now I wanted to give you again some examples because I can't cover all 50 states. We have Idaho and Washington right here. And so if we take a look at that, and again, I'm not going to read this to you, and of course this isn't legal advice, but some generalizations in these laws. This is what are called use of force laws, okay, in both Idaho and Washington. So in Idaho, you can use deadly force with no duty to retreat, and it says so, if you're attempting to stop someone from murdering you or another person with great bodily injury or defending your property, okay, against some form of violence, etc. In Washington, it's similar, but you can pick up some of the subtle differences. So in Washington, and again, I just put pieces of the law, not the whole law, so you have to do that for yourself. You have to read it all the way through. But so you can use force if being used to arrest one who has committed a felony, okay, or if you are about to be injured, or by another lawfully aiding him or her in preventing or attempting to prevent an offense against his or her person, malicious trespass, and even malicious interference with real or personal property. So the laws are similar, and you can sense some aspects of say, Castle Doctrine in there, even though both of these states don't have quote-unquote Castle Doctrine. Now, here is what is called justifiable homicide. Justifiable homicide, and this is the Idaho law. This is different from use of force, but also very similar. And the only thing that I want to point out here is that when you look at this law, justifiable homicide, it's important to understand. Homicide is the taking of a human life. If it's justifiable, then obviously it's self-defense. And if it was not justifiable, it becomes murder. Okay, so when would you be justified in committing homicide? Well, if there's any attempt to murder any person, okay, or great bodily harm. Okay, and also when committed in defense of habitation, basically your home, your property or your person. Okay, and I won't go on and on, but there are times when homicide is justifiable. But again, we need to be very careful in the taking of human life. If we look at Washington State, again, justifiable homicide. And their wording is very interesting, and they like to use the terminology of slayer and slain. So if you commit justifiable homicide, you are the slayer, okay, and the person who was killed was the slain. And so when would that be justifiable? It's in the lawful defense of the slayer. So in other words, yourself or basically anybody around you, because it says in any other person. Okay, so in defense of yourself or anyone around you. Okay, and also in the actual resistance of an attempt to commit a felony upon the slayer, okay, in his presence or upon his dwelling or other place of abode. So basically where you live. And that has also been proven out to be in say, your own hotel room, etc. Okay, so these are important concepts to understand. Now, what I'm not saying here is that, oh yeah, there's all these protections in place and it's going to be easy if you get into a self-defense situation where you commit a justifiable homicide. It's going to be a cakewalk, because it's not.